Hello, Nupur, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. I see a couple of people joining. So, okay. Um, yeah. Uh, guys, can we start?
ऐसी बात तो मैं समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ। मैं भी
So I just had a word with Narola. One of the panelists is still like near the vicinity, but like still stuck in the traffic. So we're waiting for her as well. There are so many people who are joining at this point. I'm so sorry.
Okay, could you just brief the audience about today's event,
Yes.
because they've already joined, so we need to pay respect to them.
Yes, of course.
Could you just talk a bit louder, Nupur, so that there's more louder here?
Sure. Okay. So thank you for those who've joined and welcome everybody to our ISOC India Mumbai Chapter event. This event is specially catering to the visually impaired and their challenges around the accessibility of internet. Okay, we have a group of panelists who will talk about the issue and discuss possible solutions, and then we will have a speaker who is going to address further the topic further. We're going to have we're going to introduce all the speakers in a few moments, and we hope that you have a good show ahead. And this so yeah, it's it's about the it's about the visually impaired. So I don't think there will be any presentations, but it will be only audio. And we are pretty excited for this event because a lot of people have worked hard to put this together. So yeah, uh, let's see how the event commences. We'll have to wait a few moments for the speaker just because she is stuck. Um, so yeah, it'll be only a few minutes. So thank you for all the patience and thank you for those who have joined on time. And I can see a lot of people who are joining right now. So yeah, thank you.
And have the other guest speakers already joined?
Yeah,
So
they
yes.
have joined. Yes, they have joined. They've joined. We're just waiting for one more speaker.
I'm also happy to see many of my visually challenged friends who have joined the meeting. So, if
Yeah.
possible, if time allows, we could take their hands-on problems. And
Yes, of course. And we have visually impaired people in the audience as well. So, and we've arranged the event so that it is feasible for them and accessible. Everything is accessible to them as well. So we especially invited them for this event, and they've been kind enough to actually come and grace the occasion, despite challenges, despite the fact that it is on the second floor, but they've come.
So can we just since Narola is stuck up in traffic, we can just
Not Narola, not Narola. Narola is here in the audience. I mean, on the venue. One of the speakers who's also a panelist, or she's stuck.
okay.
Yeah.
But then can we get started?
Yeah. Okay.
As and when she joins. We can,
yeah, sure. And Narola.
Because we can't make everybody wait for such
Yeah,
long time.
sure. Yeah, of course. Narola.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Hello. Yes. Just give us 5 minutes. Actually, we're having some internet connectivity issues here. So yeah. Just give us 5 minutes. Yeah. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, we
Hello,
can hear
yes.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You may start, Narola, at any time. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Um,
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay. Narola, you may start. It's okay if the speaker is yet to arrive. You can take them online, or you can take them as they come, because the others are waiting. That's okay.
Fine. Okay then. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Am I too in the middle?
No.
Sorry, screen is okay.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me good?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you all. Apologies for the delay. So as you know, Meghalaya has a very slow internet connectivity. The speed was very slow. So that's why ISOC is very needed here. And we need this session a lot here. So thank you so much for waiting, especially those who are online. I would like to give a warm welcome to everyone. So today's event is Vision for Accessible Internet, Bridging the Digital Divide for Visually Impaired. So in today's digital age, internet access is a necessity. It's not a privilege. Yet for many, especially for visually impaired, accessibility remains a barrier. As we embrace technology, it's our responsibility to ensure no one is left behind. So right now, I'd just like to talk about what Internet Governance Praxis Series is. So Internet Governance Praxis Series is an initiative by ISOC India Mumbai that focuses on real-world application of Internet governance principles. So such events like today's event, lectures, discussions are held such that we aim to connect policy theory with lived experiences and implementation. So you might, especially here, you might know what ISOC Mumbai is, ISOC India Mumbai Chapter is. So ISOC India Mumbai is one of the 6 active Internet Society chapters here in India. The Internet Society is a global cause-driven organization governed by a diverse board of trustees that is dedicated to ensuring that Internet stays open, transparent, and defined by you, that is us. It operates through more than 110 active chapters across 6 continents and engages in unique local and regional perspectives on emerging Internet issues. Being the only chapter situated in the western part of the country, ISOC India Mumbai aims to represent interests of users to the western part of India. The vision of ISOC India Mumbai is to improve the digital capabilities of individuals, not just in Mumbai, but all throughout the country itself. So the key focus areas of ISOC India Mumbai are internet governance, internet and multi-stakeholders, emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, ML, and the evolving technological landscape. So to promote the vision, the chapter has organized and carried out close to more than 30 events and initiatives. Our members include coders, activists, educators, students, and professionals, all united by a shared belief in the Internet's transformative power. So today's panel discussion, there are 4 individuals who will be there. So one is Mr. Dhar. He's the founder of Blindly Trust, a very powerful advocate transforming personal challenges into empowerment for others. And there's Mr. Dylan Robbie Jones Ian. He's a planning officer of the Meghalaya State Resource Center on Disability Affairs. He helps in bringing policy, expertise, and grassroots insight. And we also have Mr. Yash Agarwal. He's a tech policy expert and founder of the publicpolicyindia.com. Good experience. He's also had he has experience at ICANN and Twitter as well. And after that, we also have Mr. Amrut Deshmukh, the booklet guy, also well known as the booklet guy, whose app promotes reading and has reached over 7.5 million users. I would like to focus on the speaker of the day as well. So we're honored to welcome Ms. Parakyam T. Dhar as well. So she is a lawyer and a founder of Krishna Foundation, working at the intersection of law, education, and community development in Shillong. So as we begin this session, let us remember accessibility is about more than infrastructure. It's about people. Thank you to all our panelists, our speaker, and everyone who has joined, especially online, and the ones who are here today. We are all glad to hear what your insights are, and thank you for sharing your time. Let's move forward together towards a truly inclusive digital future. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll be starting with the panel discussion. So I'm sure everyone is here. I'd just like to, yeah. So I would like to, Jitendra sir, yes, I'll just.
Thanks.
Jitendra sir, can you give a small introduction about yourself, who you are, and basically just a little just about you.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say that my English is not so good actually. So I request everyone that if there is anything, then you can ask me as well, because since my English is not so good. And but I also would like to thank the Internet Society for organizing this type of program, which is the first time for me as a visually impaired to present in this way. And I also would like to thank to all the panelists like Sakilins and many other which I couldn't call one by one. I mean, so my name is Mr. Jitendra Dhar, and I am the founder and managing director of Blind Youth Trust Organization. And this organization we started from 2018 along with one of my mentorship. He's sighted and he's a biological engineer from MIT University, which is in US, I think. And he's the one who guided me from scratch, like what I'm going to do and what should I do, what is the intervention plans, those things he taught me. And he's also taught me about this type of technology, like how to use the computer, how to use this. He's the one who guided me regarding this, and he really protect our rights also. So currently, that we in organization that we have two projects. One is that we have applied that what do we call this? One is Hope Build, which we need to build our internal systems and policies and to be more improvement for the organizations. And another one is we have the production that we're going to produce the hand made soap, which we want to make our organization source of income and to make it sustainable, so that we can reach out and deliveries to all our community, whatever the needs and whatever the issues, we need to make it strong. For that we have our intention. I think that is what I am going to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jitendra sir, for that introduction. I would like to also ask Dylan sir. So I would just like to ask him to give his introduction.
Thank you, Narola. My name is Dylan Singh. I am the planning officer, as mentioned, of the State Resource Center Disability Affairs. I'm so privileged and honored to be part of a very a good panel here with Amit Deshmukh, Pachitendra, and Sanjesh Agarwal. These are the people that I have done a bit of work on LinkedIn, and I see that you have a very vibrant list of activities, and it's an honor and privilege for me to also be in this panel representing the state government. And so the State Resource Center in Disability Affairs, we are completely under the Social Welfare Department, Government of Meghalaya, and we were founded in 2001. And till now, we have been focusing on bringing equality to persons with disabilities since the PWD Act 1997, and even till now, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. And over the years, we have evolved with time and on how to intervene and help persons with disabilities. So we are a manpower of around 400 people in the state, right from the state level to the district level, to the block and gram sevak circles level. And over the years, we have brought different verticals. The one main vertical that we have tried and has worked is the community-based rehabilitation vertical. The second is the therapeutic and rehabilitation vertical, that we give different services like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, audiology, and different therapeutic services through our centers. The third vertical that we have introduced very recently is the livelihood vertical, wherein we have experts like certain departments, line departments from the state of Meghalaya, like the Prime Startup Hub, that is a part of the entrepreneurship cell of the SRCDA. And very recently, we have, through the help of Prime, we have helped 8 entrepreneurs of the East Coast District with seed money for them to start and to better their entrepreneurship. And the fourth vertical that we have is the tech vertical, wherein we try to connect with different stakeholders in terms of accessible technology, and also not only that, but also when it comes to the unique disability ID certification. So the SRCDA is the nodal department to give out the UDID, which is streamlined by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So about myself, I live very nearby where we have this here. It's very easy for me to find a place also. And I'd like to thank Narola for reaching out through LinkedIn, and it's a privilege to be part of this. And I hope that we have a very enriching discussions. We can go ahead and maybe have better interventions for the persons with visual impairment of the state, and maybe
Yes, everyone, if you can basically come online, if you can give a small introduction of who you are and what is your purpose.
Narola, can you, so there are too many voices that are coming on. Everybody in the Zoom, can you mute yourself? There are too many people who are not on mute. Yeah. You may continue. Yeah. Narola, continue.
Yes, can you hear us? Yes.
Yeah.
I would just like to ask, I'd like to ask Yash Agarwal if he can give a small introduction about himself.
Hi, am I audible, Narola?
Yes, yes.
Did you just ask me to introduce myself, or is there a question as well?
Yes, yes. Like just to such that the audience know you and all. So yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and Nicole and the ISOC Mumbai Chapter for putting this together. My name is Yash. I apologize for the background noise. I'm just outside somewhere at work, but I'll try, speak very clearly. So I work for ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. ICANN, in a sense, is the steward of the internet's namespace and number space, right? So IP addresses, domain name system, etc. Right? I work as a global stakeholder engagement manager for South Asia, and I'm based out in New Delhi. Before ICANN, I worked for Twitter. Now it's called X.com, in a public policy role, and before that, I used to work in the parliament. So that's about me. Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you so much, Sheshankar. And also, Deshmukh can give a small introduction about yourself. Yes, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you, Narola. I'm Amrut Deshmukh, also known as Booklet Guy. And the only purpose of my life is to cultivate reading habit amongst the youth of India, because I firmly believe that if I'm not reading, I'm not changing. And if I'm not changing, I'm not growing. And because of this strong belief, I have a burning desire to cultivate the habit of reading amongst the youth of India. And when I say reading, it's not just book in hand style of reading. Okay, we should embrace technology and make reading more inclusive, so that even people who are visually impaired can take advantage of the lacks of books which are out there in the world. Yeah. So Mission Make India Read is now the sole purpose of my life, and I'll not leave any stone unturned and fulfill my dream. It's my dream that one day India will be known as a nation of readers on the world map, and I will make it happen come what may. Thank you.
Space.
One request, Narola, if you could move the Zoom mic closer to the speakers where you all three are sitting or standing, because we all are not able to hear you properly. So if you could just get the digital mic closer, because the mic that you have is for the classroom, right? The room where you are physically present. I'm talking about digital.
Okay, before we start, I would just like to basically ask the question, Jitendra sir. Sir, I'd just like to ask, would you share with us how you use the internet in your daily life, how it impacts you, especially as a visually impaired person? And have you used any tools like screen readers or voice assistants that help you? And which one works the best? And that is what I would like to ask you.
Thank you so much. This is a very hard question for me also. And hence I have prepared something which you allow me to read for this, because that is, this is, the internet is, plays a crucial role to my life. It's helped me to carry out my office tasks and access information for self-learning and training communication more easily, read content independently for a person with disability like me. And I also say that technology is the truly the backbone that support our participants in everyday activities. And I use these screen readers that call non-visual desktop access and NVDA, which we can get is free of cost, and which enable me to navigate digital platform while aware of other advanced screen readers also, like job, what is this? Job access with speech, that called JAWS, and but I am not unable, I am unable to tell that exactly how it works and how it because I never used it. And due to the high cost, even though it's highly regarded. So that is why about the job, I mean the JAWS, I couldn't say anything because it's a very expensive software. However, there are still challenges for for the people with disability. Like for instance, when the internet connection is low, especially for the like for the on the website who is highly traffic, and the screen reader is often lack or do not function properly. This become even more difficult in the rural area, like East Center Hills and West Center Hills, and those who stay in the borders areas. There's a lot of my friends which we have. We do schedule the online meeting, but we never. No, we never. Their internet there is a very slow. They never get to access it. In some villages, they are not able also to get the internet. There is many of our members or stakeholders who live in the live like no internet access and closely tied to electricity. Like if what do they call this? If the electricity is gone, then the network also there is no more network, no more internet.
Hello.
So disruption about severely about this limits our mobility, like I mean, like Google Maps when we used to navigate on the street. So this also is it makes us a very difficult and challenge because it's the due to the slow internet, then the map and the location also is not accurate probably. So one of the biggest hurdles capture, there's a that called this rubber verification capture. These the often inaccessible, and we would greatly benefit if all the online portals can be more accessible and make put that what do they call this? Included that kind of audio capture or audio challenge what we take up, which the visually impaired can play, and then they will know that the numbers or the capture ID for the improvement. So another Another improvement is access to job-related information. Currently, job vacancy is notice are shared as the inaccessible as I found. Most of them it's not reach out to the people with disability, and we are trying to ask them, but they said it's a problem for them. They don't get it in proper, like they don't really. It means it don't really reach out to them. Like if us like if you share the inaccessible PDF, and if such information can be uh, shared through the formats like Google Forms, and I mean, that will be because Google Form will be more visible for us. We can where we can just even submit from ourselves and attach from ourselves the what's document's requirements, and then maybe we can just submit that, and then once selected or got in the job, then we can just bring the hard copy. I mean that is my views. So if we do that, I feel that it would be extremely beneficial to have a single unified platform dedicated to the person with disability, where all relevant information such as job vacancies, schemes, laws, or grants are available for the people with disability. That will be very good if we can do this aspect through the internet. So that is, I think, where I just can say. If there is anything, then I think we can have already shared with you, right? You just to help me.
Thank you so much, Sridhar sir. So I would just like to again add to what Sir said. So one of the major issues that he's faced, like usually as a visually impaired person, he uses the internet for mobility. Firstly, he focuses on Google Maps, how that is one of the most important part of his life. Let's say he wants to go, let's say from one place to another place. So it gets difficult, especially here in Meghalaya. The internet speed is very low. Even today itself, our speed is just at about 12 Mbps, and when more people connect to the same Wi-Fi connection, then it reduces more. So this is one of the biggest issues as a person who is visually impaired faces. For example, once the internet speed it decreases, then even the screen readers also it will not be able to work as fast unless they buy the full version, which is also expensive. So moving on to the next question, I would just like to ask Yash Agarwal, what role can the Internet Society play in bridging the gap between central policies and state level implementation, especially in underrepresented areas like the Northeast?
Hi, Narola. Thank you so much for the question. I'll keep it brief because I think I'll have to leave very soon. So to answer your question, right, in terms of what role can say something like an organization like ISOC play in bridging the gap between central policies and state level implementation. I'm not the best person qualified to answer that, but what I can certainly tell you is that a lot of institutions, including ISOC, right, with all the right intent, we try and figure out how best can we make the internet more accessible, right, uh, to people from all walks of life, right, especially those who are not privileged and who are maybe first-time users, etc. something that I've observed in the last few years of working in this field is also that sometimes you get people online, but they don't stay online, right? Which means they don't have the most productive engagement and experience online, right? So it can be, say, for example, lack of content or services in their native language, as an example, right? In fact, there's a reason why ICANN runs IDNs, internationalized domain names, right? Where you can have domain names and other internet identifiers in non-ASCII, non-English languages. Anyway, that's a different thing. So that's an example. Similarly, the other bit is that we even if we set up, say, like a workshop, right, or say like a local level capacity building initiative to get more people online, it's a one-off thing, right? Can we do things which are slightly more longer term, right? Maybe it can be rural broadband access initiatives, right? That is slightly more long term, right? Or can we tie it up with other funding or CSI initiatives, right? Or in fact, the government of India itself makes a lot of funds under different buckets available, right? For different sort of initiatives and outcomes. So is that something we can tap into? Right? The point being that, so there are a lot of things that only the government can do, right? That we as civil society simply cannot match in terms of scale and resources. But even as civil society, can we be slightly smarter and more longer term focus in terms of what do we take up, and whatever that it is that we are working on in this field, does that sustain, right? Once we have in a sense implemented and moved on to the next thing. Yeah, that's what I would add.
No, you're on mute.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Hello? Hello? Yes. Yes. Thank you, Yash, for those insights. I would just like to move forward to the next question, which is towards Dylan, sir. So I would just like to ask you, how can your team ensure that, for example, you're from the government side. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how can basically the government of Meghalaya can ensure that persons with disabilities, the visually impaired, are included, let's say, in consultations or possibly policy formulations, especially pertaining to digital accessibility here in Meghalaya. So just that.
Thank you. When it comes to including persons with visual impairment or any other disability as per the Act, our Chief Executive Officer is the State Commissioner for Person with Disabilities as per the Act again. And every State Commissioner is to have an advisory team to help, in taking decisions, taking interventions forward, discussing, and has been made mandatory that this advisory board needs to have a person with a particular type of disability. And right now we have Madam Dhar, who is also a person with visual impairment, as part of the advisory body to the State Commission of Person with Disabilities. And we from the government, we have people who we go from time to time when we have a particular intervention in place, a model in place. We do include, our friends with disabilities. We look at that from the government's perspective, from the Office of the State Commissioner. But when we look at the SRCDA, we have a governing body. Person with disabilities are always included in meetings when we have a governing body. And these person with disabilities are the nominated members, if not the executive members. So when it comes to policy for formulation or policy making, or making certain services ready before we go for further intervention, we always include our persons with disabilities.
Also, sir, regarding digital accessibility.
Okay. When it comes to digital accessibility, we are compliant with the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. As per Section 42, we are to make government websites, especially when you talk about digital accessibility, to be compliant with the different guidelines. So on 3rd December, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities 2015, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji have actually inaugurated the Accessible India campaign in 2015. With the help of the Office of the State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities in the month of August 2016, the following year, we have seen that there have been 138 websites that have been made accessible for persons with disabilities, ranging from even the persons with visual impairment. And all these government websites, I'm not talking about the other websites, I'm talking about the government websites that have been made accessible. So this is one of the things that we do. Even if you look at our website, there are things that, yes, we do lack. So when in those gray areas where we lack, we always look to the different citizens with disabilities of the state, wherein they can help in improving these interventions of ours.
Thank you, Dilsa, for such a comprehensive answer. It is amazing to see that the state is taking the necessary actions towards including the person with disabilities, especially in consultation with regarding to policy formulation. We hope that this, inclusion will be more, especially in the future, because as we move towards digital age, that is very much needed. So the next question I would ask Mr. Amrut Deshmukh. Basically, given your reach and style of simplifying knowledge, what potential do you see in translating voice-first platforms for the visually impaired?
Yeah, thanks, Narola, for the question. Thank you for having me here. Am I loud and audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. See, during the introduction of this session, Narola, you said something so beautiful that inclusivity or accessibility is not just about infrastructure and technology, it's about people. And it is so true. Yeah, I can know, advocate this statement 100 times. So even I did not develop booklet app for the visually challenged people. But I was never aware of it. That was sheer lack of empathy, compassion. And it's not that it's completely our fault. I have a question for not a non-interrogative question for everybody. How many of you in your college days or school days had at least one visually challenged friend in your core group of friends? Yeah, we have such bunch of friends, right, with whom we go to canteens, we bunk lectures and go to the different places. So how many of, was there any visually impaired boy or a girl in your core group of friends? Highly unlikely. So did I. I mean, even I, and always there were a couple of boys and girls in my college. We all said hi, bye, okay, we shook hands with them, but they never became part of our core group of friendship. Yeah. And so what happens is they create their own homogeneous groups of similar disability, and they don't get exposed to sighted people like us. And so they create a myopic narrow-mindedness because they have a limited group of friends, a circle of friends. So this is the main thing, we should embrace them with open arms, and then we get to learn so many things from them. In fact, the movie Shrikant had a profound impact on my mindset that these people are not supposed to only make candles in the factories, and our job is not only to help them cross the roads on the streets. It's I think our responsibility is much beyond that. If Shrikant can become a successful entrepreneur, and I heard that he's now part of the Shark Tank investors, not Shark Tank contestant. Shrikant, the guy जिस पे वो movie बनी, He's one of the investors in Shark Tank. I mean, I did not watch the episode, but I heard it from my friend. So I think anything is possible. Of course, they need a lot of support from us initially, and then they are quite they work on autonomous mode independently. Having said that, yeah, no, people like us are no. It is our responsibility to extend a helping hand to them. And then as I gradually developed social uh, entrepreneurship within me, I started making friends with physically challenged, visually challenged people, started affiliating with NGOs. And then I started realizing their grassroots problems. So there was a simple change that I made in the app. So most of the audio apps or voice first apps, they stream the voices, the audios only if you're online. Okay. For a simple selfish reason that because if it is offline, they can't run ads. So I just allowed the users, the readers or the listeners to listen to my book summaries even when you are in offline mode, and that was a game changer, especially for people uh, during traveling, because during traveling the network is irregular, and so you can play the audio even if the network is irregular and you need not be online. A small change, and there is a huge impact on people like visually impaired. So I think these are the small. So it's more about. It's not about how modern technology we use. It's about putting compassion and empathy into it, and think from their point of view. Even if they form a minority group, so what? Yeah, they have all the right to benefit from the latest technologies. In fact, I had a friend called Mayan, and so he's helping me in my booklet venture. I saw that many of the websites are not accessible. So he was trying to copy an article from a website to his Word document. He was not able to do that because the main text of the article was not getting copied. वो box create नहीं हो रहा था, except that everything was getting selected. The non-important things, the date and the footnotes and the ads were getting copied, but the main text was not getting copied. So I think this is, of course, I do not blame the service providers. It's just that we are not aware of it. Yeah. Earlier we became aware of it. I think that I opened the movie Shrikant opened my eyes, and since then I've changed my approach towards these people. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, over to you, Narola.
Yes.
Yeah. Now say it again.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would just like to thank Amrut for such a heartfelt answer, especially his focus on empathy and basically the start of where let's say why we have not made especially internet accessible, and not just that but accessibility in general. It's because from the start only we have not seen many individuals, especially from the from the visually impaired, who are visually impaired. So that aspect is it's a very fresh outlook from that you introduced just now. Especially when it comes to technology, we only think about the result. We never think about how it impacts an individual. So basically your answer really makes us think a little bit more deeply. So I would just like to ask one question to Mr. Jitendra Dhar. One question. I just like to ask. So one of the important issues that Internet Society ISOC Mumbai focuses on is the internet shutdowns. So I'd like to ask you, how has internet shutdowns here in Meghalaya have impacted you? And not just that, but what do you want to see, like something that you want to see a change here in Meghalaya? Especially because you're not just, you've interacted with more than hundreds of individuals who are also visually impaired. So I would like to ask your perspective on this. Number one, internet shutdowns, how does it affect your life? How it has affected you till date? And what is the change you want to see here in Meghalaya?
Thank you for the question. As a visually impaired person, I rely on the internet for nearly, I mean, like everyday aspect of my daily life. Reading document, accessing news, um, using public transport apps, making UPI payments, and signing of official documents using the digital signature certificate, and many is the disability community digital tools are essential for independence when the internet shut down. We are cut off, like someone is close us inside, like we couldn't go anywhere because we need to we need to navigate through the map. Again, it's come to that. And it is in order to scan surrounding. Of course, there is the application, but without internet, it won't work. So notice that there are from services and there what I'm saying, but from dignity and autonomy, also it affects us because especially in this what do they call this? In this time that most of the economies or also is used like through UPI. This is really helps for the blind people in order to do like a business, if they have to do the transaction. But if there is the internet shut down, then that would definitely be affect us also. And in the next 2-3 years, that I hope to see stronger efforts in the digital inclusion and right awareness in Meghalaya and maybe across the Northeast. We need to be informed of our entitlements and under the right of a person with disabilities, and be empowered to use tools like the right to information and to address the gaps in accessibility. I wish also to see the state of Meghalaya to have all services and alerts accessible via screen readers and audio challenge, or like I told you, is the problem which we have in the verification capture. Have a stable, inclusive internet access across the region, and promote right education and digital literacy for persons with disabilities, and safeguard privacy and strengthen online security. For us, the internet is not just convenience. It it's visibility, mobility, and equal opportunity. And that is how I mean, I can say for now it's maybe there is a lot we have to do. Not just that. There's a lot of things, especially in Meghalaya. It's a lack of internet provider activities. If you're going to the rural area, it's most of the village they don't have a best internet. And this is, I mean, it affects our friends and our community who live in the rural area, and they don't have, when there is no internet and lack internet access in their area, then that it will be, they will have lack of information and don't know. Somebody was telling them that, oh, this, like for example, in the COVID, there is a lot of misunderstanding. In spite to, I mean, instead to give them the best information, and due to the lack of the internet and just studying just someone who's studying them about any information who is harmed, then they were scared. So most of probably they used to call me last time. I provided with perspective information. Then otherwise they used to scare about it. And sometimes people used to say, David, does there any what do they call this? Like if there is any harmful bomb blast or something, it's used to affect them in the rural area. There's lack of information due to the lack of the internet connection activities. So that's, I think, what I can share for this time. I won't take much time. So yeah, that is the thing. We need to be trained as the people with disability, and we need to, if there is any platform, maybe like Study and we can arrange. I know, sure, we can do that. And we need to be trained like where we can get the information. Like I said, there is maybe like one or a lot of platforms, and maybe there's a lot of departments. They have their own portals, and the SRC they have own channel and own portals. Why don't they just keep it on SRC? Then everyone can reach out to that. That is my idea. So just a suggestion. That is my suggestion. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jitendra sir, for such a very detailed answer. Especially his focus on not just the internet shutdown issues, but also digital security and basically making sure that all as a state of Meghalaya, such that we go towards making internet more stable and inclusive, and not just here in Meghalaya, but entire northeastern region. So that is especially the last line where you said that that the internet is not just convenience, it's visibility, mobility, and equal opportunity. That really it brings something in our hearts. It makes us think. So thank you so much, Jitendra, for the very wonderful, detailed answer. And I'm sure through this event, we'll try to figure out something, at least if not now also, we'll take the necessary steps towards making sure that these problems that you face, make sure that we reach to some form of solution. So moving on, I would like to ask Amrut Deshmukh, just one last question. I just like to ask, in a time where everything is online and as your mission is to make people read more, and but here, like, not everyone can see or can read. So what is the future of oral and audio storytelling to make sure that education is inclusive and such that digital education especially can be more inclusive in the internet space?
Yeah, I think it's a very important question. So I've been working on this mission Brigade for almost 9 years, and I've got a lot of insights, and I'm in touch with the end users so much on daily basis that I understand their grassroots problems, day-to-day problems. I mean, yes, Chat GPT, AI tools, there are great things. All should learn them, but I think technology which we are already habitual to, are much important than the future technologies which we are not familiar with. Got it? Especially people like people who are visually challenged, their learning curve is much sharper than you and I. If in order to learn a new app, a new technology, they will take double the time to learn in comparison to people like us. So having said that, what I've observed is WhatsApp is the most underrated app. If I ask everybody in this room, how many of you have Facebook? Probably 50% will raise their hand. If I ask how many of you have Instagram, maybe 80% will raise their hand. But if I ask how many of you have WhatsApp in your mobile, I'm very sure 100% will raise your you will raise their hand, right? And I think WhatsApp has got almost all the facilities which are accessible to the visually challenged. I think all the visually challenged friends in my friend circle, they use WhatsApp so beautifully, in fact, better than me. Yeah. And so I decided to exploit WhatsApp in order to reach out to everybody. And this is how I started sharing book summaries on WhatsApp. And then came the audio idea. And that was a game changer. And now the latest development, coming to the artificial intelligence, there's a company called 11 Labs. It's an American company called 11 Labs. And many of the authors or publishers used to come to me and request me to record the books in my voice, the entire book. I mean, I record the summaries, right, for booklet app, which takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes for me because the summaries of 20 minutes. But recording an entire book will take me more than a week, right? It is a very tedious job, which involves a lot of effort. So I used to turn down the offers because it was not practically possible for me. But now, 11 Labs, there is an agency which approached me on behalf of 11 Labs, and they cloned my voice, okay, using the AI tools. And that AI tool speaks exactly same like me. Not just my voice texture, the way I speak, my modulation, my mood, my laughter, my unique style of speaking. It has copied everything and cloned exactly so well that now it is easy to convert the books into audiobooks using my voice. Yeah, and we have already started. So I think this is a boon to convert any book, be it academic or non-academic, into audiobooks. So we do not depend on the expensive infrastructure of Braille, because converting books into Braille is really expensive. Yeah, it's a hardware. I think using AI tools like 11 Labs, which is an open source tool, you all can go and check 11 Labs, and you can also upload your voice and clone it. So these guys have done it professionally for me, and it's working well. So this is the latest development. So I think, and the third point I want to emphasize on is that there is a blessing in disguise for visually challenged. The problem is that Albert Einstein has beautifully said that don't simplify things, make things as simple as possible. And there's a difference which I did not understand initially. Okay, make things as simple as possible, but don't simplify them. What does he mean by this? Education, okay, getting converted into audio, fine, because your imagination is still on. Okay, if you listen to a Harry Potter story, you will have your own personal Harry Potter in your imagination. But if the same story gets converted into a drama, into a video, our imagination shuts down and we surrender ourselves to the director's imagination, which is impossible for a visually challenged, because the only alternative for him or her is to imagine, right, to visualize. So I never converted my audio summaries into videos, because imagination is thinking and thinking is imagination. We always think in pictures. We never think in words. We never think in any language. We always think in pictures. Okay. So I think audio or voice platforms, I think has its own advantages. We think that videos are always better than audios. No, there is a big drawback on videos, and hence I stuck to audios. And we all should make use of 11 Labs, which has cracked one of the best AI platforms, which has cracked the code for voices. Okay, in videos the AI has not yet developed; it's still at an amateur phase. But in voice, AI has gone way ahead of times, and we should exploit that, especially for our visually challenged friends. Yeah, Narola.
Thank you, Amrut, for that wonderful answer. Now, I think everyone please download that 11 Labs app right now, please. Okay. So this is a wonderful, and I'm very glad that you're introducing some technologies also that that we can use to make it. Yes. Amrut, is it free? Did anyone just ask just now?
What did he ask?
Yes. Is it free?
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask, is it free, the apps, or we have to pay? Because most of the
Yes.
AI tools that I see, we have to pay a lot of amount, which is I could not afford for myself.
Sorry,
Yes.
was the question for me?
Yes. Yeah, the question is it free? Is it, yes, freely available?
Yeah, same like Chat GPT. They give some 10 lakh characters for free, which is a huge number. So for personal use, it's as good as free. If for corporates it is paid. But yes, for personal use, it is as good as free because they give 10 lakh characters as free credit. So I've been using it for like last 6 months, and I've still not exhausted my credit. So it's as good as free.
I've already questioned, how can I reach out to whom should I reach out, to whom I should, I mean, if I'm going to explore the apps.
Yeah, it's very easy to use. They're very easy to use. Just go to 11labs.com. I'm not sure whether they have an app, but they have a website called 11 Labs. 11 is in words. ELEVAN, 11labs.com. And very user friendly.
Thank you, Amrit. Thank you for that. And we'll make sure that in case, we'll make sure that we sit together with Jitendra when it comes to that. We'll download it together and check it out together. Yes. So the last question of the day is going to go to Dilin sir. Basically, we wanted to ask you, what is your vision for Meghalaya when it comes to digital equity, universal access, and basically rights-based inclusion for persons with disabilities, especially from the perspective of internet accessibility. So this is the last question of the day for this panel discussion.
Thank you. The vision of the day, the vision that the SRCDA has for, I think looking at 2030. Yes. Yeah. So when I think we're in sync when we say the year 2030. So when you look at 2030, it adds to 50. Right. So 50 would be, we're looking at, because as per the statistics of the census 2011, the person disabilities in the country, the percentage is around 2.21%. So when we look at the census figures of the state, it's around 44,000. So when we add 20 and 30, it comes to 50,000. That is the vision that we have, that if a vision is quantifiable, it's easy for us to make plans and policies to reach that number, right? So when it's 50K or 50 persons with disabilities on interventions, digital inclusion, and maybe just even giving a disability certificate or calling them to OPD or even giving them adaptive aid, the 50,000 person disabilities that we will try to reach out in the year 2030 would make a lot of sense. With that being said, I would like to ask the moderator, can we speak some more? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so in these lines, because when it comes to talking about digital literacy awareness, this cannot be done by just, maybe this is one of the very first platforms we have on digital literacy for the visually impaired. But even if we look at digital literacy for the person with disabilities, we would need more awareness. Like what Bajitendra said, maybe we can work together through social media, through YouTube channels. That is fine, but maybe we have around 300 ground workers in the state. If possible, maybe some sort of awareness can be done at their own grassroots levels, the Gram Sevak circles. That way we can have more awareness done. With that being said, I being a sighted person will not know or experience what Bajitendra is going through when it comes to accessibility. If we have an experiential hub, for example, maybe a hub where we can showcase all these devices. Anyone who's interested can come and see, okay, how do I feel if I am a visually impaired person? Maybe it's, the JAWS application or the NVDA, all the things can be displayed there. So anyone who's interested, maybe it can be for free, or they can have it at our place, or even at Bethany Society, which is one of the leading NGOs advocating for persons with disabilities. They can go there and experience themselves. What are these devices that they can use? Right? So I'm just throwing out ideas here because I understand that if we work together with the Internet Society or other, for example, like Mr. Amrut had said, there are a lot of things that we can venture out, like 11 labs, for example. I did not hear about that, so today is the first time, which can help us. The other thing is maybe I see around India, especially now we are following some footsteps of India, maybe have an accessible tech hackathon. Right? So with the hackathon, people come together, it can be online, it can be nationwide, people come together and try to build some sort of assistive tech that can help not just the people of Meghalaya, but around the globe or even India. The fourth one I'd like to say is maybe a lot of our government officials, technology partners do not have an idea much about disability as a whole. So maybe we can have a summit here. We can maybe call people experts and see how we can help our friends with disabilities. I think together we can work. We can never work in silos. Convergence is the key. In a small state like Meghalaya, wherein our resources are very limited, if we don't converge, we will not be able to go forward. But I feel that 2030, reaching out to 50,000 person disabilities in the state in the next 4 years is quite a target, but I think we can reach there.
Thank you, Dilin sir. That was such an insightful answer, especially the experience labs. That is very, especially, and apart from that, even the accessible hackathons. That's a very new idea that I think it has not been implemented, especially I think across Northeast also, that has not been done before. So that is a very good suggestion, sir. And right now, I would like to call Vinayak. So we'll move forward to the Q&A. So there are some questions that have been asked by like when person registers online for this event. So they have few questions. So yeah, Vinayak.
Yes. All right. So I'm audible just to get the principal back. I'm audible. No. I guess. Mr. Journalist takes the mic. Somebody give a thumbs up whether my audible looking directly at the audience. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Somebody can give a thumbs up in the chat. Yes. All right. So I feel this Q&A part, I think it would be an interesting take, but I feel some of the answers that we previously answered. But again, I would like to emphasize something which will be more nuanced here. So what I feel, speaker is. Oh, okay. All right. So my question first would be to Dylan sir, and in a way, how committed is the Indian government, and the matter of fact, the state government, is in the effort to make the infrastructure of the internet more accessible, not only for the ones who are disabled, and again, because of the region where we are from, where we have limited resources. How can we make the internet more accessible for everyone, and especially focusing on for the ones who are disabled? How can we target that?
That's a very tough question. I will try to answer it in my capacity. Number one is, again, awareness. When we talk about awareness in a state like ours, even basic awareness of a simple pension scheme takes a long time to reach to the last mile. People living in, we are privileged to live in places like Shillong where internet connectivity is not that great, but it's there. But then when we look at other places in really remote areas, awareness is the key. Awareness can be only word of mouth. So when it comes to internet accessibility, I feel that maybe even simply, I think Amrut said it very clearly. I think we really downplay the power of WhatsApp, because everyone has WhatsApp. It cannot be that no one has WhatsApp except for a very few, underprivileged people. But then maybe we can look at WhatsApp as one of the key players to create awareness. It might be, for example, when we had visited Delhi last month, we saw there was one a person who was, who was immobile, neck down because of his condition of muscular dystrophy. But he had a gadget in his head that he can navigate a laptop, navigate a mobile. For example, why I'm saying that is because there are many people that we have in our database that are bedbound because of various reasons, accidents, genetic, and other factors. And we found that if a person is immobile, lying there for the rest of his adult life in bed, it has a huge burden on his mental health. But with a device like that, he can actually start to navigate in WhatsApp even before, try to connect with people, try to share videos, share jokes. So that helps in his mental health. So when it comes to, again, literacy digital literacy again, I believe awareness, word of mouth, we can always try WhatsApp. WhatsApp always works, I believe. Whenever there's a network, you get the messages. So maybe websites is a big thing because I feel people don't go to websites anymore. That's what I feel. So maybe that way. So a few weeks ago, the Office of the Commissioner received a sumo case wherein a person with disability wants to have a single window for all the schemes in the state. Right? So maybe we can think of a single window where if a person with disability needs to go only to one website to access voter ID, Aadhaar card, delivery concession, health insurance, adaptive aids, maybe things like that can work out. So again, awareness has to be created for that as well. And it has to be through word of mouth or WhatsApp.
Thank you so much for insightful words, sir. Because again, I feel there was a question which I was about to ask to you, and you have actually answered before. And I said that because the one technology you mentioned, the person being immobile and using a technology to navigate it, was just nothing but a brain-computer interface, or something what we call as a neurocognitive learning pathway, where we use technology so that we can convert our neurotransmitting signals to a form where our digital technology can understand that. I think you have really elaborated on that fact. And of course, I also feel that the accessibility of concentrated resources and is something that we look forward to, because again, a single window providing everything a person needs, not anyone who is being disabled, but also someone who just wants to access it in a pinch. I think it's quite great to have that. So yes. Alright. So moving on to the question, I would like to ask Yash now, from a policy standpoint, as you being one of the stakeholder management collaborator in ICANN. So since Yash is not there, so again, we have the floor open actually to a question. Is where again I feel Dylan sir will be able to answer that. We can come back to this up. So like AI integration, because again, there is one thing that I read recently, is basically a bell curve. A curve which is when technology is catered towards. And the bell curve, the ball of the bell, is basically shows the concentration of people who can access the internet or any kind of technology from a day-to-day standpoint, where the edges of the bell are the ones who are specifically catered toward communities. One being the ones who are specially able, and one being the ones who have required that technology for special needs for themselves. But it's been also noted that if a technology has been built for one of the either edge cases, the majority of the population who is in the bell of the curve adapt to either of the edge cases. So do you feel that technology which is common, like anything around here, like which is AI nowadays, can help in that way? Because how AI will be integrating in our lives to fulfill those edge cases so that the rest of the audience can follow those edge cases and we can have an accessible internet in terms of how AI would be helping us. What is your take on that?
Okay. I didn't quite understand the bell curve, but I think I got what you're saying. So let me stick to one point where I'm looking at how AI can help persons with disabilities, right? So last week we had a video call with a company called ThinkDude. So the pressure now in the country is, I'm talking this on behalf of the persons with hearing impairment. When they go to any program, the program organizer does not think about people with hearing impairment coming to a program. So they do not arrange for a sign language interpreter. There's no live captioning, like what we see in YouTube. This company, ThinkReview, actually did that in Delhi when we were in Delhi, when the people who spoke in English, in Hindi and English, the live captioning actually happened. And that was kind of crazy because I have never seen something like that. When in hearing impaired people sit and in the big screen, wherever this person is talking, live captioning actually happens. So this person actually sees, all that person is saying, like how I'm speaking now. That is used through AI. So this company called ThinkReview actually does that. The next step that they took was, they're taking is to have an AI person, an AI model to actually interpret in sign language as the person is talking. So I think with AI we can go miles and miles ahead for the person with disabilities. For example, for visually impaired, maybe audio description to understand. Maybe image description can be done through AI. I think image description is already being done by AI. So I think we can always look to AI when it comes to helping friends with disabilities.
Thank you, sir, for the insight, because I really feel that you elucidated on the question really well. And now I would like to pass the floor back to Narola for the next part of the session.
Thank you so much, Dylan sir, Jitendra sir. Thank you so much, Yash Agarwal as well, and Anirudh Deshmukh for this very insightful panel discussion. I'm sure everyone online have gotten some new ideas from this. Maybe we can work on this, especially students who are online. they can work on their project where, like, you've already heard so many problem statements that were, introduced today. So let's do something with this and let's work on solutions coming out from this. Now, moving forward, I would like to introduce one person. His name is yeah. I'd just like to thank first you. Okay. Yes, I would like to introduce Mr. Rajesh Tiwari. He's the ex-Deputy Secretary of Social Welfare of the Chhattisgarh government. He has joined us online today. He is also the Regional Liaison Officer of the ISOC ASG. I would like to just give him a chance to express his opinion and experience, especially after this panel discussion. I'd like to ask him to please share his insights. Hello, sir, can you unmute yourself?
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Rajesh Tiwari, and I'm one member of ISOC in India. And previously I was Deputy Secretary to Governor of Chhattisgarh, and I'm very comfortable what people are saying with the technology. The only thing which I'm little worried that how once the technology is available, how we are going to take this technology to the people of grassroots or the smaller state where we can really do the testing and we can get the feedback of a visually disabled person who can really understand that what exactly, because the problem which we faced is that the maximum AI tools or whatever software, they are available only in English. And especially in North India, Central India, the language is Hindi. So that is the great difficulty people are facing to understand. There's a big challenge to translate the thing. So in this, I think am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Now you're
That's why I tell whatever technology what we are discussing over here, the important thing which I could understand with the field understanding that the maximum AI tools or the software available, they cover maximum thing in English or other languages, but Central India and East India and especially
Hello, sir. Sir, it got cut again. Can you repeat it again, sir?
Accessible in the native language.
hear me, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear
I'm
you,
audible.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, you're audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my main worry that the technology, whatever level lab or especially the Google this specs has come, and they work on the software. When I went to the field inspection, I could find that the maximum software which is available, they are either in English or in other language, and people do not understand the language what is coming, because again that is American accent, and also for that we have any solution for it in say Viksit Bharat or Made in India kind of a thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that remark, sir, especially regarding accessibility when it comes to language. So, especially converting all these into different languages. For example, like Hindi, like in Meghalaya, we have three major languages like Khasi, Garo, and Panar. So, giving that aspect is very important to focus on that as well. Because like Jitendra also, he started the session saying that he's not very very strong with English, but yet he has done such a wonderful job today, especially putting out his points in English. So thank you, sir, for that viewpoint, sir. Thank you, sir. So now I would like to call. I think we've reached another part of the session, which is we'll hear the speaker of the day. So her name is Bharati Chania. So she is a lawyer by profession, but she's also an advocate. But besides that, she's also so many wonderful things. She also leads this Krishan Foundation, where she has helped so many students in Shillong, and she's a big advocate for especially for women, and she has worked a lot on community development here in Shillong, and she's already part of the Blind Lead Trust. Like organization, she knows about genders and she knows about these issues as well. So I like to, before I call her on stage, I would just like to ask, yes. I'd like to call Lakshman and Vinayak to come on board to just facilitate Jitendra sir and Dilip sir for their time here. Yes. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your thank you. And even Vinayak, can you please see him? Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Both of you have done a very incredible job at sharing your insights. And Yash Agarwal, sir, and also Mr. Amrut Deshmukh. It has been a wonderful panel discussion. I'm sure everyone has learned a lot from this session. And now we'll move forward to the speaker of the day, Ms. Madam Dhar. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dhar, and I would just like to clarify that I am not a member of the Blind Lead Trust, but I've had the honor of actually interacting with Jitendra Dhar over the phone. We have never met, but this is an absolute honor to finally meet him here at the ISOC, function. And I've had the privilege of Mr. Jitendra actually adding me in a WhatsApp group, the BLT social, and from there I have learned a lot about, the difficulties faced by people, with visual impairment. So for that, I thank you so much, Jitendra, and I'm absolutely honored to finally meet you here today. So, like I said, I am so happy to be a part of the Internet Society India Mumbai's program, which is Vision for Accessible Internet, Bridging the Digital Divide for the Visually Impaired. My topic today is, I will briefly talk about internet shutdowns, accessibility, and the rights of visually impaired persons. So, previously, since the beginning of this program, I have heard about the different difficulties faced by people who are visually impaired. So in this agenda, in the first part, I'll just briefly talk about digital accessibility, how the internet is an enabler of access. And I think this needs no further explanation because all of you know much better than me. And then I'll be talking about internet shutdowns, the impact on visually impaired persons. And my focus today is to especially talk about the Anuradha Bhasin guidelines, which talks about internet shutdowns and the guidelines that the government has to follow. So generally, when we talk about internet shutdowns, it is an absolute restriction on or a digital curfew, that is imposed on internet services. This is due to an order given by the government generally under section 144 of the CRPC. So in the world that we live in a world where in the digital age where the internet has become a very essential part of our lives. And I've ensured that in this PPT I followed the template that was provided to me by Narola, which was provided by Jitendra. As we know, the internet enables access to education. There's so many resources like Khan Academy, Coursera, and then when it comes to healthcare as well, in today's world, we're able to access consultations with doctors from all over the world. In India, we can use, by going to a website called Procto. And I myself, since I was pregnant during the pandemic, the only way I could consult with my doctor who was in Gurgaon was through Practo. The internet has really helped us with that kind of access, and especially with social services, civic participation. And as Mr. Jitendra had explained, Google Maps has become a very essential navigator, especially for people with visual impairments. And he had also mentioned about business endeavors, also how the internet is so important in enabling people who have business endeavors. Whether it is selling in Facebook Marketplace or on Instagram, and there are many visually impaired people who actually have such businesses online. And when you have such businesses, UPI payments become very, very essential. But what happens when there's an immediate shutdown without any, prior notification? It becomes, the world becomes completely dark, for people who face visual challenges. And it's like all the doors, they're just closing in, and you're left in complete isolation from the world. We've had, especially for people with visual impairments, you have screen readers, braille displays, voice-to-text tools, all text to access digital platforms. But like I said, to just give you context, internet shutdowns, sometimes they happen almost immediately without any notification. With sometimes, with the reason that exams are coming up, in order to curtail cheating, internet shutdowns are imposed. This have been done in the state of Bihar. Earlier within these 5 years. Also, internet shutdowns have happened during protests and over concerns, on law and order concerns. They've also occurred, like as we've seen in Meghalaya, during some unrest or tensions that happen. And you can see, most of the data, you can get it from Internet Freedom Foundation, where they have mentioned about these internet shutdowns that have happened. So, Jitendra had already explained about the impact of visually impaired persons, like losing access to tools, inability to navigate apps, inability to navigate, to go from one place to another. So this, it completely wreaks havoc when it comes to, for people with visual impairments. So coming on to, what is the solution with respect to internet shutdowns, which happens almost immediately just by the stroke of a pen? I would like to tell you a story. Okay, so this is it is actually a case that had happened in 2019. There was this reporter, her name is Anuradha Bhasin, and she's a journalist. At that time, she was reporting from Jammu and Kashmir, and almost immediately there were issues, and the internet got shut down. So she was unable to do her job. She was unable to do her job to actually give live reports, and so it affected her bread and butter. And at the same time, also there was another minister by the name of Ghulam Nabi Azad, and he wanted to meet with people in his constituency, but he was unable to because he could not send the message through WhatsApp. So what had happened was he filed a separate petition, and so did Anuradha Bhasin. She filed a petition before the Supreme Court, stating that connectivity to the internet should be a fundamental right. It is a fundamental right, she says, and at the same time that it affected two things. One is, the right to freedom of speech and expression and the right to freedom of press under Article 19(1) subclause A. And the other thing that it affected was, her right to livelihood under Article 19(1) subclause G. So these are two very similar points that, people who are visually impaired might face during a, complete shutdown of the internet. So in this case, the Supreme Court had given an order or a judgment that was in favor of Anuradha Bhasin. The Supreme Court had held that while internet services can be suspended to safeguard public order, however, restrictions cannot be excessive and arbitrary. At the same time, it had also mentioned that, that the government should publish internet shutdown orders online and on public domain. So these are something, two very essential things. And according to this, the Supreme Court had established certain guidelines that must be followed, where the government have to comply with. But it is very sad that, as per research that was done by Internet Freedom Foundation, there were many states that did not comply with this guideline. And the reason being is that they were unaware. And our state also being one, was, in the research done by IFF, they were completely unaware. That's why they did not apply these guidelines. So therefore, even not just amongst the masses, but even the, the people who wield, who are at the decision-making table, they should be made aware that these guidelines are there in order to ensure that shutdowns are not done arbitrarily and, just by the stroke of a pen, but it must follow the guidelines that the Supreme Court has given under the, via the Anuradha Bhasin case. So let us look into these guidelines. So the first guideline is access to the internet and exercise of fundamental rights. So it was for the first time that the Supreme Court had decided that, connectivity and access to the internet is a fundamental right by expanding the meaning under Article 19(1) subclause A, which is the right to freedom of speech and expression. Because today in the digital age, most of our expressions happen either on Facebook, on Twitter, X, or in various digital online platforms. So it is an absolutely, it is within our right to be able to express ourselves online. And that these orders that the government gives, it should be, given in advance, and it should be displayed in public domain. If it is not in public domain, then how will people know about it? Especially people with visual impairments, it would be very difficult. They have to shut down their business will immediately get shut down. Their navigation, they will not have any navigation tools. They'll have to be dependent on other people. So therefore, having prior notice and orders must be published in the public domain, which many states, have not done because of their not being aware of these guidelines. And that the third point is that when these orders are given by the government, they should be reasoned orders. That means a reason should be given. Just to say that there is a section 144 CRPC situation is not enough. That does not give the public enough information of what is going on and why is the internet being shut down. So in this case, the Supreme Court had said that at least a detailed order should be given in order for people to have information regarding the same. And the fourth thing is that there should be the rule of proportionality. And by the rule of proportionality means that you cannot shut down the internet indefinitely. Okay, this has happened in certain regions of India, which I'm sure you are aware of. If the internet is shut down indefinitely for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, then it impairs people's right to livelihood, and it is a big issue. And if this, you cannot do things arbitrarily just by saying, oh, there's a little disturbance, so let's shut down the internet. There are many movements to keep the internet on, and the rule of proportionality should be used, and it should not be done arbitrarily. And all number 5, the suspension should be done only. It should be temporary in nature. It cannot, like I said, it cannot be done for a very long period of time, since it becomes a detriment. And furthermore, the orders under Section 144 CRPC, they should state material facts as to why the internet is being shut down. So as you can see here, this case is very important, and I hope that there is more awareness that is being made with respect to this, especially in government offices. Like what Sir had explained before, you cannot work in silos, but we have to work together. So at least with this information, certain things can be done. So what can we do then? We need to have a multi-pronged approach. And as Sir had mentioned that in Meghalaya, there is an inclusive decision making, which is absolutely beautiful. I was actually going to point out with respect to this, but since you had clarified, I think this is amazing that it's happening in our home state. There should be more training and awareness, of government and telecom authorities, technology solutions, policy reform, internet shutdown guidelines must include accessibility and disability impact assessments. I have never ever seen, a disability or accessibility impact assessment done on internet shutdowns, and I think this is something that is very important, that we must go back and learn from the past. What kind of when were internet shutdowns done? Why were they done? How has it impacted the public, and especially people who are visually impaired? In order for us to learn to do better, we have to learn from the past so we can make better solutions. And at the same time, I feel that there is a lot that we can learn from other places and jurisdictions. And at least in India, we have the RPWD Act 2016, which is a good attempt. Okay, although I'm sure that Bajendra will have many points to make with respect to this act, where there's certain changes that need to be made or amended. But we have seen, like in the UK, in their Equality Act, they have made sure they have mandated web accessibility through legislation, just like how we have in India. And furthermore, there are efforts in Kerala, in the state of Kerala, which has made, build blind-friendly digital libraries, and also to make transport more accessible for the visually impaired, because like as you see in most states in India, transportation can be very hectic and very I mean, it can be very difficult to just get onto a bus or a taxi. So I feel at least with government initiatives, they can look into this, to improve infrastructure for the visually impaired. I will not go further into the laws that are there in India, because I feel Dylan has explained and articulated on the RPWD Act very well when it comes to access to digital technology. But nonetheless, just for information, so the legal frameworks that we have are the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, which mandates equal access to information and communication technologies. We have especially the grandmother or the grandfather of all laws, which is the Constitution of India. How will a person have the right to live with dignity under Article 21 of the Constitution, which talks about the right to life? It is, it is only when we treat others, and others better, and to have empathy for people with certain visual impairments. So in our constitution also we have Article 21, which talks about the right to live with dignity. It is not enough to just live, but we must live with dignity, and that has been enshrined under the constitution and with various case laws. And then furthermore, when it comes to legal frameworks and rights with respect to internet, we have the temporary suspension of telecom services, public emergency or public service rules 2017, which talks about an order suspending internet services indefinitely is impermissible under the Act. So we have all of these legal frameworks, but it becomes a toothless legal weapon, okay, or a toothless solution if we do not implement them. So I think together, if we work together, anything is possible. We have the capacity. All we need now is both, administrative, political will, and the public will together. So in conclusion, let us not forget that every time we shut down the internet, we shut out people's voices, we shut out access for people with visual impairments, which means we cut off people's autonomy. We risk turning digital progress to digital privilege. Okay, we are all privileged people, but if we shut this down, it's like we are, turning down digital progress for people with visual impairments. The right to connect is a human right. It must be protected for all, including those who navigate the world without sight, but with strength, resilience, and the same thirst for opportunity. Keep the internet on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kombala, for that beautiful session, especially when you focus on the guidelines. That was most of us don't know about them, and it's really nice that you have introduced us to these new things within the law itself. And I appreciate your efforts in this. And I would like to call Lakshman to facilitate Ms. Bala, yes, for her efforts. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Kamala. Thank you so much. So we've reached the end of the session, and we would like to call our president, Ms. Nupur Bey, to give the thank you remarks for the day. And along with that, she'll be also asking several notary speakers who are there in the online session to give few last remarks. Yes.
Yes, we would like to invite firstly Mr. Charles Mock to give a few closing words.
Yes. Hi, my name is Charles Mock, and I am a member of the Board of Trustee of the Internet Society. So I'm very happy today to join you in your webinar. There's a lot of great information and I sense a lot of enthusiasm about doing something to help close the digital gap or to help and support the visually impaired community and so on in India, particularly in Mumbai. So I'm very grateful for the work of your chapter leadership and all your members and so on. So Nepal, I have to congratulate you on your chapter because this is a very active chapter, and the work that you have done, particularly, I mean, with the example of today's session, is tremendous. So I want to also say a quick word about accessibility as well. This is a matter that I think is very important to Internet society because in the last 3 years, we have been trying very hard, even for our own organization, to try to push forward setting up an accessibility guideline within our organization. It is not easy, even for ourselves. And we were very fortunate that we have something called an ASG, the Accessibility Standing Group, which is organized by a group of volunteers within ISOC, and they have been doing a lot of great work in setting up the guideline for ISOC itself, and also hopefully propagate the vision of adopting the standard and the guideline and the operation to other organizations and all over the world. So we want to make sure that the motto of ISOC is Internet for everyone. So we know that accessibility, including with the visually impaired community and others, are going to be, we cannot leave them out. So I don't want to go on forever, but I just sense a lot of positive energy about the use of technology from your group, which I think is very, very encouraging. There has been a lot of information that you have shared on technology usage, on standards, on legal aspect, personal experience, and so on. So I hope I will see a summary of all the of some of the key points from this session, because I think if we can have that a short summary or something that can be shared within the chapter and also across different chapters, I think that would be very useful. And also, of course, sharing it with the accessibility standing group, I think they will appreciate it very much as well. So thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Thank you for the appreciation. We do have actually a rapporteur for this event, so don't worry, I will share the report with you and everybody. Also, talking about the accessibility group, we have Dr. Ashutosh Pathak with us as well. So, Mr. Pathak, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Nupur. First of all, it's great privilege to me to receive one invitation from your sides, and I'm like to just thanks all the organizing committee of this wonderful event, which is totally focus of the digital accessibility, especially to you and that one of the guy Narola Okay, so you people are continuous following me. And although we are also busy nowadays, we are going to organize one mega event on behalf of the ISOC SG in India. It is scheduled on the 8th, 9th, and 10th December in NDMC Convocation Center in New Delhi. It is an international event we are going to organize, where we are going to provide the one special training to all the disabled people, PWD people, for the leadership program. It is scheduled for 8th and 9th of the April to 2025. And also two component is there. One is the hands-on training for the how the content and how the digital components will develop so that it will make complete accessible to the internet over internet. And the third one is the international conference, which is totally focused over the digital accessibility. So today, what you people are discussed, it is also very fruitful to making internet fully accessible. Definitely, the digital divide continues to be a pressing issue nowadays, and for the visually impaired individual, navigating the internet present unique challenge that many more not fully understand. So if you are thinking about the in context of the India, as per my experience, I was associated with the AIC, that is the Accessibility India campaign from 2017 onwards. It is one of the campaign organized by Government of India to make all the thing in accessible mode. Either it is a digital device, either it is a building, either it is any components, okay, which is used inside the government or the private sector. It may be complete accessible. So I was the part of the digital accessibility program of the AIC, and I was started to just visit the different states of the country. Meghalaya is the one of the part of that activity also. I was visited in the Meghalaya also. At that time, the Honorable Commissioner is also present there inside the meeting. What I feel during my tenure of this AIC event, the people are not aware about the accessibility, the digital accessibility. Okay, they are not ready to accept why we are going to move our website or any digital component which is more accessible, why it is required. Okay, so first of all, what I feel, we can provide the training and we can provide the one program for them, why it is required, and then we will start any kind of such kind of work, any activity. So we have organized the 1 and 2 international conference also at that time, and we have invited all the nodal officers across the Government of India and across all the states. And first of all, we synchronized why it is important. Okay. So, and after that, we will start the work. But what we will face during this implementation of the program, as the Mr. Rajesh Tiwari said, the language barrier is one of the major components to make the all digital device in terms of the accessible inside the country. Okay, because like in Meghalaya, Kharo, and some other languages also there. In Gujarat, regional language is Gujarati. Maharashtra, Marathi is the one of the language. Okay, so people are just asking why you people are not making the website in terms of the regional language as well. Okay, so we are also facing at present this problem, and on behalf of the Government of India, just I want to update to all. The Government of India is already taken one initiative to make the one screen reader device with the association with one of the NGO. It is a totally Making India program, okay, and where we will get all the regional language as well, okay. Now, whatever the screen reader available, where only the some international language is available, regional language is not available. If you are thinking in terms of the India, the regional language digital device is also important, because all people are not totally literate, who are disabled and who are visually impaired. Okay, so these are the one of the major challenges to make all the things digital accessible. So one of the key component already we have addressed, and soon it will come, so that one of the issue raised by the Rajesh Tiwari ji, it will addressed by the government of India and development community as well. The second challenge is what we faced. The people, the development organizations, they are not very much aware how the digital component make the accessible. Okay. What is the parameter they will adopt so that whatever the development they are doing, it will make complete digital accessible. So still what we feel, only few organizations of the India, they are only competent to do the all the digital device in digital mode. There is a huge requirement inside even the India to make all the digital device fully accessible. As of now, in a survey, we have received one data in 2024. In terms of the government of India and all government website, more than 10,000 website is active nowadays. And out of 10,000 website, only 2% website is digital accessible. So this is the biggest challenge in terms of the digital accessibility in front of the government of India and the several state government as well. And only few developers are able to make all these stuff the digital accessible. So what is the need of the present day? We provide the training to all the stakeholders in terms of the either it is a government entity, either is a private entity, either is a development community, either is a another whatever the stakeholder associated with this mission, so that they will understand how they will make any component the digital accessible. And lastly, just I want to say, definitely several emerging technology arise and emerging technology available in terms of the AI and the other thing, and it will provide the several features where we can make the content and other thing in form of the digital accessible, but still the language barrier is there. Okay, so when we are thinking in terms of say India, first of all, what I want to say, we address our community itself, and whatever the requirement we will receive from the community, on basis of that, we try to make the solutions, like in terms of the technology, in terms of the any kind of assistance they need. So this is the visions for regarding this event. Thank you to all and thanks to organizing committee to inviting me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That's very insightful. And lastly, we have Miss Bridget. She's going to say a few words. Ma'am, you're on mute. Ma'am, you're on mute. Ma'am, you're on mute again. Hi.
Is it?
Yes, you're fine. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Oh, no, you're on mute again.
I have to hold.
Yeah, it's the, yeah, oh, you can't. Okay, yeah, you go ahead, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I feel privileged and honored to be part of this important event. It was such a wonderful panel discussion. And it was truly such a knowledgeable and committed panel. For this, I would like to thank the organizers in the Internet Society, and especially to Sir Ashutosh Pathak. He's the one who has recommended my name to Madam Nupur. Initially, I was a bit scared of, all these scams and all. When I got the message from Madam Nupur, I said, "What is this?" I said, "I got your number from Ashutosh, sir." Then suddenly I call up Sir Ashutosh. I just want to confirm whether he's really the one, because nowadays with all these kind of internet issues, I can say this, which is very scary also. So, but I was very happy when I came to know that Sir Ashutosh still remember me and has recommended my name to you, Madam Nupur. Thank you so much. And for this great opportunity. And I'm very grateful to Ms. Narola Dhar for her kind support in briefing me and coordinating all the preparations and the entire ISOC Mumbai chapter for initiating this wonderful event. I was hesitated to join initially because I'm not from this field. I'm not a technical expert. I'm a deputy commissioner in the field of disability rehabilitation, but being in that office, surely I can take up issues relating with people with visually impairment. Today's focus on vision for accessibility, bridging the digital divide, relates with Section 42 of the Rights of Person with Disabilities Act 2016. Just now we have heard from Madam Badap Miang Tidkar. Thank you, Ms. Badap Miang, for that wonderful presentation on the internet shutdowns, accessibility, and the rights of persons with visual impairment. Being a deputy commissioner, working in the Office of the Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, I think this chapter, this section is very, very important. And we are talking about inclusivity, inclusion of people with persons with disabilities in the society, and talking about the rights of persons with disabilities. Just to inform you that the state government of Meghalaya has taken initiatives with regards to accessibility in buildings, where 41 buildings under the Accessible India Campaign Phase 1, 24 buildings and 17 buildings under the Scheme of Implementation of Person with Disabilities Act are being made accessible to persons with disabilities. This section 42, which deals with access to information and communication technology, is both timely and critical. While I'm not a technical expert in this field, I strongly believe that digital technology or digital accessibility must be prioritized, especially for the visually impaired, where technology should enable, not exclude. I was very happy to hear from Sir Jitendra Dhar, the Managing Director of Blind Lead Trust, for raising issues. And I've heard from Mr. Dylan Robbins Aim, who is the planning officer of the State Resource Center on Disability Affairs. I'm very happy to be a part of this event because hearing from them, I can take up forward these issues with the state government. In Meghalaya, we have some wonderful or some meaningful progress regarding accessibility to websites. I'm very glad that Sir Ashutosh is here also in this program, because he's the one who came to our state and briefed on websites accessibility. Very thankful to you, sir, because under the Accessible India campaign, you have taken the initiative to make 34 websites accessible to persons with disabilities, where all the accessibility features have been incorporated in 34 government websites. And the state government, through National Informatics Center Meghalaya, has also taken the initiative to make 50 more government websites accessible to persons with disabilities. I feel really blessed today. I wanted to attend personally, but then due to some important meeting that I had to attend to, I could not. But then I was able to be here since 2:20. So I was very happy to listen to each and every one of you, even though I'm not a technical expert in this thing, hearing all about internet issues. I think we should take up this matter very, to take up with the government, how to address these issues for people for the benefit of people of visual impairment. So I just want to also tell you that we have taken up with accessibility in buildings, accessibility in websites, and we are also moving ahead with accessible transportation. So I hope that this step that the state government has taken will improve not just access, but easement in everyday commuting for many. Internet accessibility is no longer optional, what I heard just now. For the visually impaired, simple daily tasks like accessing government schemes or navigating public services must be supported by accessible design, including screen reader compatibility, alt text, and proper navigation. With organizations like ISOC Mumbai Chapter, we hope to bridge the gap between technology and inclusion. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Jitendra Dhar, a passionate member of the Blind Lead Trust, who has been advocating for accessibility from ATMs with braille signage and ramps to digital tools for the visually impaired. I hope, Mr. Jitendra, we can meet and discuss. We can sit along with Mr. Dylan Robbie's aim for the planning officer from the State Research Center on Disability Affairs, how to go forward in bridging this gap. I also want to acknowledge all of you, all the panelists, such wonderful discussions, and which is really a commendable initiative. The quality of insights shared by a panelist and the clarity of the speaker's facilitation have truly set the tone for meaningful dialogue. We are very fortunate to have the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Government of India, who has taken several initiatives for upliftment of people with disabilities, be it schemes, when it comes with grants, grant and aid, accessibility in built environment, accessibility in websites, accessible transportation, and so many things coming up. And I hope this matter also we can take up with the ministry after having discussions with all their concerned authority. As a government servant, I may not have all the answers, but I remain committed to doing my best to listen, to act, and to ensure that Meghalaya continues to move forward in building a more inclusive and accessible future for all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very, very nice and moving. And we're glad that our session had such a positive impact on you. Uh, just to thank you all for joining us and enhancing our session. I would like to start by saying a special thanks to Narola Dhar for her exceptional leadership and dedication and her vision and planning. And despite her health challenges, she worked really hard. And we also deeply appreciate Blind Lead Trust for their unwavering advocacy, and Dorbar Shnongang Lodring and Ranbag Shnong and Mr. Kharashindi for generously providing us the community hall and the hospitality. We would also like to thank our sincere panelists, Mr. Jitendra Dakar, Mr. Dylan Robbie Jones Seaman, CM, Mr. Amrit Deshmukh, Mr. Yash Agarwal, and Miss Bada Biang Dakar for their powerful insights. Gratitude to Dr. Ashok Pathak, Mrs. Bridget Giles Mock for their inspiring closing remarks. Thank you, Jolly, for managing the live streams. Like always, we're very, very grateful. And for Valentine and Vinayak for designing our promotional events. Vinayak, for your moderation, and for you to come all the way to Shillong. That was very sweet of you. And thanks to Surya for rapporteuring. Thanks to Pratik Shweta Nandita for their guidance, which is always invaluable. Thanks to each and every chapter of ISOC India Mumbai, and all the behind-scenes efforts. And lastly, thank you to our fellow leaders and supporters, Lakshman Ramnathan, Pravina Aniket Shahi and our engaged audience for their energy and commitment that continues to inspire us in our mission for digital inclusion. There are a lot more people who have worked in this event. If I say their names, this will go on forever. But thank you every person who has made this possible, and we couldn't have done it without you. And just for the closing remarks, that this is 2025, and we needed to talk about something this important, which we all take for granted, but it is not a guarantee for somebody else. So thank you, everyone. And with this, we conclude today's session. Thank you.
I would request everyone to turn on the camera so we can